Here we are in the show, in
What's
the studio.
going on?
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you guys, whenever you're getting a chance to watch us at home, you notice that we've upgraded a little bit to
I sound so good.
a full-on mic system. We've really upped the game. So these introductions are going to be super special tonight. I'm trapped in here in the corner. I'm Ian West, the owner-operator of FearFishing. If you ever got an email from me, that's what it says at the bottom, owner-operator. I thought that was kind of catchy.
I'm the
CEO.
FearFishing minion. That's literally what it says at the bottom of mine. Rich
Yeah.
Farragher.
Netman.
Netman.
That's so true. And who do we got on the couch? I know you people.
I am Marley Horniak, and I like to fish.
Amber.
And filling in tonight in the production chair. Do you remember? Oh,
Ooh, there he is.
introduce yourself, my man.
I'm Adam Scriber.
And what do you do, Adam?
I like to fish.
And he's just become a member of the FearFishing field staff team.
So pumped.
So pumped. I'm excited to have him. That'd be awesome if we just had technical difficulties. Our opening is not working right. It's got some lag.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Yeah, it is what it is.
Whatever.
This is realist. This is not Ike Live.
we don't
If
have
you've just
the
tuned
carpenter.
in, I'm not Mike Iconelli. You have to go to
But I do have a fat head.
you go to MikeIconelli.com to watch that guy.
Yeah.
FearFishing.com. If that's what you're looking for, you're on the right show.
That's right.
Um,
We're gonna get a
I'm
nasty
sure
hate
by
mail from
I'm
Mike.
yeah. Ike's gonna be like, what? No, Ike's a huge fan of the show.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, we talk to Ike all the time. We're always sharing his posts. I do want for the FearFishing webcast some of those Ike
We
beer
gotta
glasses.
get some of those Ike beer glasses. They're all engraved. And
Yeah.
They look pretty cool. But
We gotta get
maybe
some
we
of
get
those.
some fear fishing ones.
We could get some. We could all half of us could use Ike ones and half of us could use FearFishing ones.
Can I make my own?
a Marley cup, a Marley cup.
Pimp
With
cup.
my face on it?
The gauntlet.
Well, let's jump right into here because Marley's about the handiest guy in the world.
You can totally make it.
You built a motorcycle.
I built a motorcycle, yeah.
You built a motorcycle, and was it like Guinness cans that you used?
Yeah.
Explain that to us because I went over to his house and I'm like, oh my god, that's so awesome. He's like, dude, they're just Guinness cans.
Basically, it's a 69 Honda. Parts are kind of hard to find for it. So there's these two pieces that kind of hold the spring in, and they were all pitted, all the chrome. So I'm like, I need a way to fix this because I wanted to keep them. So I just took a couple of Guinness cans, sliced them, and epoxied them around.
It looks awesome.
that sounds.
It is
cool.
really cool. And
Some people notice it, some people don't.
I noticed it right away. I was like, wow, that because I thought he'd purchased this.
No.
And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
no, I totally made it myself. And I was like, well,
That's awesome.
And Marley fixes everything.
Are you a Guinness fan? Is that
I
why
like
you
Guinness.
use
Yeah,
it?
he likes Guinness. Yeah,
And my bike's black and gold, so it kind of fits.
it kind of
Cool.
it goes together. It's a sweet looking bike.
It's
You
between
can
that or Export A, so.
you can you can hear him a mile away on that thing. When
yeah.
he fires it up, that's a loud
Nice.
bike, man. It's pretty ripping. So the audio equipment. By now, you've realized that we sound a whole lot different.
Sounds sexy.
I'm not
It is
screaming.
sexy.
It is sexy. It kind of sounds like when I close my eyes, I feel like I'm on the AM 640.
590 fan.
This is Talk Radio with Ian West. Traffic with Rich.
Rich on the street.
Rich on the street. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit like Dean Blundell, and you're my Todd.
I'm good with that.
So, big show tonight. The first guest we got is Cory Banford from FLW Canada.
Yep.
He's the guy bringing FLW to us all. Whoa! I just about knocked
New
the table,
equipment.
and we already did that today
We did.
twice.
Knocked
And
over the
fish
parrotfish.
survived.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. It
Oh.
lost a tail.
Oh,
But
poor
way
guy.
to bring up our set failures on camera. We got some new stuff for the set. Behind Adam is the Darth Vader. John Wayne's right here. I'm a huge John Wayne fan. I pretty much grew up on the two.
Yeah.
My old man would set me down on TBS Saturday mornings, and pretty much I would watch the Duke.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm excited to have Duke. There's Vader in the background. So the set's coming along.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
It's not bad. So let's get started. Let's jump right in here because we got Cory coming on soon. Last Saturday we spent the day at Gagnon Sports.
Yeah, that was a fun day, man.
It was really awesome. Shout out to Gagnons for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
And basically we set up like a box ramp.
Yep.
And we were flipping down the aisleways of Gagnons, and we were having people come in, and some guys won some FearFishing shirts.
Yeah, and some Liquid Mayhem.
Liquid Mayhem. We gave a ton of Liquid Mayhem away.
Yeah, we did.
They're great people at Liquid Mayhem, and they support that event.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave us a ton of Liquid Mayhem to give away.
Yeah, for sure. Like we had quite a bit of fun
You're making
scaring
me
some
nervous.
people.
We did have a great time. and you know what? I bet you I captured the most exciting interview I ever had with that young lad who came in and won.
Yep.
And he starts the interview off, and I'm like, "How do you feel?" And he's like, "I'm honored to be here." And I've watched that Periscope like 10 times over. It was epic.
That's a true story.
It was really good. It was
like
a ton
5
of
or 6
fun.
times a day.
It was a ton of fun to have to go to Gagnons and to get to talk to fishermen. Like, people actually came in to talk to us, so that was awesome. And they knew who we were.
Yeah, just watching the Periscope videos, and they made the long trip up.
Yeah, and it was awesome. We're
And it
going
was
to do it
actually
again.
a nice day out too.
It was a nice day. It was supposed to be a bummer of a day, and then
Yeah.
it turned out to be nice. What else have we been up to? Muskie fishing. You and I actually went muskie fishing yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of just a blur of
Everything's a blur.
We went out muskie fishing, and we had 5 or 6 good falls.
Yeah, nothing really committed.
But we saw 5 or 6 good fish. We fished the Otonabee River.
Yep.
Which has a ton of fish in it in the fall. But the real muskie story is Marley Horniak. He went out and he jigged some up.
What can I say? I can't get away from those things.
He is the
Non-stop.
muskie king. We fish tournaments. Marley and I fish tournaments together, and he will floor. Like, I don't think there's a lake on the tournament schedule where Marley hasn't caught a muskie,
No.
and a big one too, on a flipping jig.
Yeah. All my biggest ones come in tournaments.
They're huge too. Like, we were almost late for tri-lakes that one time because you hooked that muskie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to land it before we could get pictures of it because we had really like 7 pounds on the live well, so it wasn't like a big deal. It wasn't like we were gonna win the tournament. It was a tough day.
Yeah, for sure.
And we were doing like the 2 o'clock blade thing where you bust out the spinner baits
The
and
desperation
yeah,
blades.
and you pray to catch something. And
Search mode comes on at the
prey
end of the
blades.
day.
and Marley hooked about a 45-inch
prey
muskie. He was huge. It was a good one.
Well, we actually switched to spinnerbait.
We did because remember the first time we ever filmed a muskie show, and we casted those great big muskie baits all day, and then Marley throws on a spinnerbait, a white spinnerbait, and gets the muskie for the show.
Yeah.
But I've got good, like, we're not muskie fishermen. Everybody at home
not
should
at
know.
all.
Like, we're guys with flipping sticks and 80-pound braid.
I target them one day a year.
Yeah.
It's opener.
So tell us how you got that big muskie in the picture. You go to Marley's Facebook page, you'll see this donkey of a muskie. So it's on something that none of you will guess, because when he told us the story, we were like, that was the last thing we'd ever guess. So tell us the story.
So basically, I got a new unit for the front of my boat, and I wanted to try it out. So I decided to just try vertical jigging, like video game fishing.
And you're smallmouth fishing.
And I'm smallmouth fishing or walleye, whatever. Right?
Whatever,
It's the last
bite.
day of the season. Just
Yeah.
having fun. So I'm in 12 feet of water and off the edge of a weed line, and I pull up, and there's this big bar following the jig. So I pull up a little higher, and then it just hits it. And I set hook, and I can't even move it off bottom at all
That's crazy.
on a jig and wrap.
On a jig and wrap.
Jig and
A
wrap.
jig and wrap.
Ice fishing jig.
Yeah, an ice
Yeah.
fishing jig.
Because I guess this doesn't surprise me because I fish with Marley all the time, and he will break out like Skugog a jigging spoon. If he's got like more than 6 feet underneath his trolling motor, at some point during the day he will try to jig them up, and that's but it works. Like, I've seen it happen, and like not all the time. And it all
Yeah.
started with Erie. Do you remember tossing when we first started spoon fishing and we didn't have like actual bass spoons, but we were using like
It was a crocodile.
a crocodile,
the
a
most
perch
gangster,
color.
dirty crocodile spoon
So
ever.
we have no real idea
Rusty
how to.
swivels.
Oh yeah.
So you know,
Good
like
stuff.
vertically jigging on like a nice day on Erie with the jigging spoon. Well, there's like 4-foot rollers out there, and Marley has got it dragging like a tube.
Okay, yeah.
So he's got about 100 yards of line out, and he's ripping this jig, and he is just pounding fish. Like it was unreal. And it was like maybe a quarter ounce, 3/8 ounce. Like it wasn't a very heavy spoon either.
It's too hard to keep it underneath you, so he just
fires it out there, and he whaled fish on it. Like, and that's where
I got a 5.9.
Yeah, and that's where it started. And then ever since then, every time you turn your head, Marley is, trying to vertically jig some kind of fish.
Yeah, nice.
It works though.
This is gonna game change though.
But there's an Al Linder show back in the day where he's jigging up walleye in open water on a. It's got to be fish Linder's Edge.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, but yeah, he's out on like Minnesota Lake.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's got like the jig and wrap whale behind the boat, and he's ripping it, and he pounds a walleye on it. So
the thing you don't realize about it is how well it marks on the screen.
That is true, because it marks well on like our flashers on when we're ice fishing. Like that's a go-to bait when you really need to see the fish.
Like it'll swing within that cone all the time. As soon as you pull it, it'll eventually come through, and you can mark it.
What else is cool is happening around here at FearFishing? M&J jigs.
Yeah.
Hold those up for us, Rich. We had they're from Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they were nice enough on Facebook to message us, and they sent a bunch of jigs up here to Canada for us to give a go. So we want to give a shout out to them and tell them thanks a lot for the bait. Here. It's always you can get up and check those out. Can you see that?
I think the light's in the way, but anyways.
M&J jigs.
M&J jigs.
Check them out on Facebook. It's really cool, and I it's kind of the independent companies sometimes like this that you roll across, and it's a gem.
Yeah, for sure. And these ones came to us with the stand-up heads on them as well, which I really like. It's pretty cool. I
am going to catch big smallmouth on those, and they're mine for the FLW tour next year.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. and that's where we're headed with tonight's first guest. We're going to talk with Mr. FLW Canada himself, Cory Banford. And just give it a second. But that FLW is coming to Canada.
I'm interested to hear all about it, really. Like everything. And a lot of guys have been messaging both of us about how to register for the events.
And it's pretty exciting. And Amber actually has Marley and I's entry fee ready to go. Do you?
Yeah.
Is it filled out?
Yeah, it's
Is
totally
it filled out correctly?
She hasn't even found the
so.
printout.
Are Marley and I going?
Yes.
Are you going, Rich?
Yeah.
You're going? You're going to compete against Marley and I?
Yes, I am, and I'm going to win.
Oh, we have a FearFishing challenge right here?
Scott Martin challenge.
Maybe.
You know what? Bringing that up, that when we're fishing the championship, you can still come and do the webcast while we're fishing the championship.
Maybe I can just yell across the boat or something.
Yeah, it's quite we should plan to do at the FLW championship on Big Rito a webcast from wherever
I didn't say
Yes.
I was making the championship.
Well, you can still come support Marley and I, because we're going to make it.
Stay in the cottage.
You can stay at the cottage, hang out.
Okay, sounds good.
Maybe we'll have to shave Tyler's beard again.
He didn't let us. He never really shaved it. And for everybody, Tyler couldn't be with us tonight, so Adam's filling in. But Tyler never really shaved his beard.
Yeah.
He trimmed it, but it's still there.
Yeah.
But it's at least cleaner.
It is cleaner, and he
There's no
does.
soup in it
He doesn't
anymore.
look like a homeless fisherman
Soup
anymore.
in it.
Soup in it. That's funny. We're so good at talking that let's just give Cory a call.
Yeah, sure.
Adam, do your job. Let's get Cory on the phone. Stressing out.
Technical difficulties. Oh, he pulled through.
Make sure you hit the camera, dude. Oh, look at this.
Oh, wow. Here he goes.
Oh, close that. And do. We have some technical difficulties. Adam's just learning. Up at the top.
He'll get her.
No, it says pending contact request.
No, you're good. We already did this before today. Look at this. This is just move the screen over a little bit. Look at us talking through. No need to worry. At the bottom, video right there. Give that a click.
That's send video message.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not.
We
the
have
same one.
lost
It
our
should be over
contact.
here.
Why don't you get up there?
I'm not getting up. What does that say? Call, message, no answer. Okay, give him a call back. It won't let you hit the video button?
Not until you get on there. Don't.
Oh,
Good day.
hey.
There we go. Now we're loading. Now we're
There
cooking.
we go.
Just bring her up on the screen, Adam. Just give us 1 second, Cory.
Yeah, no worries.
Our producer is just learning. Here we go. We can see you, my man. How's it going tonight, Cory?
Going. It's going.
It's
How are
going.
you guys?
We're having a blast here in the studio. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you crystal clear.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. So let's
You?
jump. We can hear you. Everything's looking good.
Perfect.
Let's jump right in here. And, you're Mr. FLW Canada. You're the guy bringing us, the FLW to Canada. What made you decide to take this leap?
Yeah, and just to start off quickly, it's I saw your quick little video you did earlier, and changing the world is just a little bit of pressure you're adding on there. So
Sorry, Cory. I'm
figured a
sorry.
way to fight ISIS in a hurry if I'm going to change the world. But
I meant changing the world of fishing.
Well, it's made a big difference because Rich has already challenged Marley and I to a championship battle. Basically, he's going to do the web show for Marley and I while we fish the championship because he's just a net guy.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Are there any nets on Big Rideau?
Nothing wrong with a good net guy.
So, Cory, what made you decide to take the leap of faith and bring FLW to Canada?
Well, honestly, I'm going to sound like a politician, but it has truly changed. I've been a tournament angler since I've been 16 years old, and I've done every circuit from Bassmasters in the States, FLW, and California Delta to up here. And about 20 years ago, I worked for a series called GM Pro Bass. I don't know if you remember it or whatever.
I was only 13 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, these guys seem to have it right in my mind, and I worked for them for a couple of years, and I had a blast doing it, and it went away for some reason. I don't know why. When they sold it, things changed, and it's never really been the same. So when the opportunity came up with FLW, I thought, well, here's a chance to get back. Like, they used to sell out 150 boats with a waiting list. It hasn't been like that in 20 years. So again, like I said, when FLW, I worked on them for about 3 years to make it happen, and finally they liked the idea, and things just kind of snowballed from there.
And this is really cool. Like, this is huge. Having 3 tournament guys here, and we are for the first time with you based on 100 field competitor field, you have a $20,000 payout. That's more than most of us have ever fished for in a classic, let alone 3 regular events. So as guys like me, Marley, and Rich, who are looking to take our careers to the next level, this is giving us an opportunity to do it at home rather than heading south across the border. So
yeah, absolutely. The opportunity's here for the guys. I mean, it's just nobody's really ever tried anything. And without FLW's support and assistance to, obviously, the end goal is to make the Forest Wood Cup. Without them wanting to do something, it was never going to happen. And because it is FLW, yeah, the price is a little higher than what guys are used to. But if we don't bring that professional level, that little more cost to offer that big dollar, I don't think guys are going to take it seriously. And I think that's what's been happening in Canada for a long time. There's just never been anything offered that's professional, and that's what I'm going for.
And that's the big thing. When you win a tournament, and let's say the payout's $4,400, it's kind of like it's good, but now if you win a $20,000 check, that's a real pat on the back. Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's gonna get the kids maybe a trip. It's gonna cover your cost of fishing. Maybe you can do something extra with your family, and it's kind of a way to anybody who wins one of these.
It really brings a professionalism to
That's
Canada.
right, because you're going. If you get in a tear, you could make $60,000 this summer. There's a lot of good anglers out there who could win all 3 of these events.
Absolutely.
Plus the
And that's the
championship.
thing. I don't know if anybody's done the math on it of what's out there for this year. we're actually giving away over $200,000 if we have full fields of 100 boats. So has a series ever in Canada remotely come close to giving away $200,000 more than? And that's with my attitude of it. Like I said, I'm a tournament guy. I love tournaments. You know, it breaks my heart that I've had to give it up. Last year at the Canadian Championships, you know, my former partner, he finished 13th. He was bubble boy. And it hurt, but also at the same time, I'm like, thank God, because I could have been the guy in that seat, you know.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
You know, I felt terrible for him, but I was like, well, thank God it wasn't me that just missed that, because it could have been. So, like I said, with me having the tournament in my blood, I think I know what guys want, and they want this opportunity. So hopefully it takes off. The response has been amazing. So I can't see it not working. But like I said, we'll see. It'll be a long go, and the support's there, especially from guys like you, and you know, Reno Viola has been a huge help, and you know, the people that have kind of stepped up to say, hey, what do you need? What do you want? What can we do to promote this? They want to see it. They really want to see something happen here. They want the change because it's been stagnant for way too long.
And you know, it is now a professional series.
Yeah, 100%.
It is. Like, somebody, you know, at the end of the season could become a professional. There's a good chance that Carl or Fern, who won the, I guess, 2015, the first FLW tournament ever, they're headed to the Rayovac Championship. They could become professional fishermen out of this. This could get one of them has, you know, has a good chance of making the Forest Wood Cup, but regardless, the one complaint I heard about that was that there was no cash, but they're all getting paid at the Rayovac. They just got to fish an extra tournament and a chance at superstardom in fishing.
The first place guys had a sponsorship from Smart Baits where they got $5,000 to cover their expenses to go down. Yeah, there was no check, but we also didn't run any regular season events. It was a one-time shot for the guys to go. So, you know, for the guys that said, oh, well, there was no check for first or whatever, well, there was lots of checks from second on down. But for that first place prize, that was the goal. I mean, Fern and Carl have an opportunity to fish for a living for what happened, and I'm not exactly sure what Carl's plans are in the future, but Fern's already been to Table Rock. He went down and he practiced on his own time, and you know, I know he had some great success. The guy's taking it seriously because all he has to do is beat 6 international anglers, and he's going to the Forest Wood Cup. And last place in the Forest Wood Cup is $10,000.
Yeah, absolutely. And I talked to Fern, and he's excited. Like it's like he just won the gold medal at the Olympics. He is beyond excited. I had a conversation with him a couple weeks ago, and he's over the moon with just getting the opportunity to fish the Rayovac.
Yeah, absolutely. And you never the experience is worth it right there, and that's the thing. I mean, yeah, they could go down and have a bad tournament, but at least they can say they've been there and they got their shot. Like, they have their shot, and that's what this FLW Canada is about. Here's the shot for guys to go live the dream.
Absolutely, and that's what's been missing in Canada. What I feel is that, you know, if you do really well on the tournament series before, you just had a good season. Now, it's kind of, you know, if I do really well this year, I'm going to take my career to the next step. And that's what FLW is offering.
Yep.
Now, the registration's open now. Let us know how guys can enter now.
The easiest way is to go on to our website, flwcanada.com. There's a few different methods of payment. You can go on and if you want to pay in full right off the bat, we take credit card for that, or you can easily send in your deposit with e-transfer check. We'll take it that way. And guys, it's still an open format series. Obviously, to get to the championship, you're going to have to fish at least one, unless you go in. And I don't know if you guys have noticed the membership packages that we put up. Yep. If you do buy the elite membership package, you don't even have to fish. So for the average guy out there that says, you know what, I'm fishing, you know, this little club tournament. If I buy that $99 package, they're going in the draw, and that team could get in, and the next thing you know, they could be the team going to it. You know, obviously that's the luck of a draw, like a lottery is, but that's still there.
And that's the kind of exciting part about fishing, is that this is a professional series, but everybody's going to get in right now who wants to get in. It's not like you have to qualify. You have to qualify for the championship so that everybody's clear out there. But these 3 events are open events. And you know, realistically, anybody with a live well in their boat could make the Forest Wood Cup out of this. Unless...
And that's why we stuck to kind of a little bit smaller lakes. I mean, it's not that I didn't... I wanted to go to, and I don't want to mention any towns or places or whatever to get anybody upset, but the first place I called when FLW was coming up here, I said, okay, I'd like to bring an event there. And the response from them was, well, our waterfront scene's a little busy. Any chance you would like to do an ice fishing tournament? And I'm like, okay, this is FLW. But that's the difference with Canada and the U.S. A lot of these people still don't understand, and that's the big thing that we're trying to bring awareness to. And I got a call from the town of Buckhorn, where our first event is. And I really got to thank Buckhorn a lot. They want us. And when a town wants us, that's exciting for me, because I know with running the other series that I have, a lot of associations don't really want us around. They think it's a hassle. We're taking all the fish, doing whatever. Even though it's catch and release, they still don't like us there. So when a town like Buckhorn steps up and says, will you guys please come up here?
With Buckhorn,
that gets excited, because it shows that there's something there for a professional side of things. And they're going to build this into an event.
Right. With Buckhorn, we know there's not a lot of parking there. So what's going to happen with the parking situation?
There's lots of parking. I was up about last weekend. I went up and did some site planning. There's all kinds of parking. It's just, if you've been into the right place to see it. That's the funny thing with Buckhorn. There's all kinds of little tiny streets. There's no parking right in the town.
Right.
But there's a huge marina there, and that's where we're going to be.
Okay.
And they have loads of parking in there.
I'm excited to fish tri-lakes, and I'm excited to launch from that end of the lake, because I've fished a lot of tri-lake tournaments, and it's always at the Causeway in Bridgenorth, which is really hectic to try to get a boat into in the morning. Not that I would. Pardon? Go ahead.
That was my first concern. It's like, okay, I know the tournament scene. Everything has always been run at Innismore or Bridgenorth. Why has a tournament never been at a Buckhorn? So I have to go up and site plan and make sure that, this town can actually host an event like this. And when I went up, I was really nervous because, like I said, when you go into the town, there's not much there. Like, I think the highlight of the town on the corner is a liquor store.
That's right up our alley.
I'm in trouble. There's no park, there's no anything. Well, finally, when they took me around to show me places, they took me down this road, and this marina opened up. It might be one of the best facilities I've actually ever seen.
Nice.
And when you were talking about some communities not knowing about fishing, there's a lot of people. Fishing is evolving, like, immensely in Canada. There's lots of people 2 months ago, 3 months ago, who told me I was crazy to run this webcast and that I wouldn't ever get any guests. And I've spoke to pretty much every one of my idols in finishing. Well, maybe not everyone, but
it's getting there.
It's getting there, and the word's getting out about fishing, and it's growing, and it's probably going to take a couple more years. But there's even mainstream companies looking into sponsoring fishing now, who, even I was surprised to hear from. So it's evolving, and it's, kind of setting back from. Fishing in Canada have always seemed to be what's best for me, not what's best for us. And and I know from working with Cory from the FLW that if everybody works together, we'll get a lot farther faster. And we need to sell fishing as a community.
On everything you're doing. I mean, your show's taking off like crazy. I mean, you must be on the moon with all the guys you've had.
Oh, I'm speechless. You can ask these guys in the room. When I was done talking to Scott Martin and Mike Iaconelli, I could hardly talk.
Or Brandon Polinick yesterday.
Brandon Polinick.
He was like a schoolgirl.
Yeah, who's our second guest on the show tonight. I hung the phone up with him, and I thought to myself, I just talked to Brandon Polinick.
No, it was more like...
Dude!
Knocking shit. Good plug.
So, and that's where...
This is promoted on the show, by the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't worry. We it's kind of like the thing to do. If you're going to have a fishing show, you got to drink beer. But fishing's growing like weekly. Like people who 2 weeks ago didn't know anything about bass fishing message me on Facebook, and they talk about, I see the FLW stuff. I watched your webcast. I Googled Mike Iaconelli after your webcast, and I can't believe how big that is. And I really feel like this time with more people working together to build the sport instead of just running a tournament series, that we're going to get somewhere in this.
My clients even ask me. Like, they're always asking about.
She cuts hair.
And
yeah,
she cuts
I
hair.
cut hair, and my clients are like, "What's the new video? Where's the new link? Did you do another show? What's going on?"
And I go into the shop all the time, and they ask me, how many weeks is it till you head to the FLW tournament in the fall? So
Oh, yeah.
it's getting out there.
They all want to
I've
know
seen it.
what's the next thing on FearFishing.
So
Awesome.
where is? I'm excited about Rice Lake, even though we.
Yeah.
I'll be upfront, and Marley and I have never won a Rice Lake tournament, and we talked to Ike and Ellie about this. So we're probably not going to win Rice, even as much as I'd like to hope we do.
But there's a definite chance at a top
Tri-Lakes
5.
is good for us, but St. Francis is that's going to really appeal to your Eastern Ontario guys. And where did St. Franny come from?
Well, like I said, the best thing for us is to try to branch it out as wide as we can in Ontario. And Lake St. Francis is a very popular body of water. They have the blue one there every year, and they used to sell out. I'm not sure how many boats they have this year, 110 or something like that. And it also brings Quebec into it. This is FLW Canada, and I really need to try to remember that and not just constantly go to Rice Lake, Tri-Lake, over and over again. It's bringing professionalism into it, and guys are going to have to travel a little bit if they want to be a part of that. And I'd like to make it as easy as possible for everybody, but again, like I said, at the end of the day, when there's a town and they want us to come, there might be a little concessions for guys to travel that bit. But like I said, when you do the numbers of what I'm paying back, if I don't get these places or a sponsor to help me out a bit, I'm not getting anything for what I'm doing. I'm not taking money from the anglers. The numbers show it. It's all going back to you guys. Yep. I need to make that money by advertising and promoting. And if I don't do that, well, then I'm doing it for free. And I mean, I've been doing that for a few years, to be honest with you. But I'm hoping the change is happening. And like I said, when a town like Buckhorn steps up and these other towns are like, "Hey, we'd love you to come."
I want to talk in the future of the sport. Mm-hmm. Let's say 5 years down the road, I'm sure next year is going to be a tremendous season with you're going to run 3 events and a championship in September. What do you think the odds of 5 years from now that we start our bass tournaments in Ontario and Quebec, and let's say like a pre-spawn, that we have the seasons changed so that we can start bass fishing in April and run tournaments from April right to the end of the season, and maybe we skip the spawn or whatever, but we could get a full 8 events in, because it'd be hard to run 8 events in the short time that we have now with bass season opening at the end of June and only, September's our championship. What do you think? How far can we take this in Canada, Cory?
I'd love to see something like that happen. If the MNR would ever do something like that, I really don't know. There's so much pressure up here with the live release and the protecting of the fish. It's a different game in the States. Mm-hmm. They just don't do it like we do up here. I'm not saying either way is right or wrong. At the end of the day, it's up to them. I mean, we can all talk to them and say, listen, there's nothing wrong with fishing in April when fish aren't up on nests and whatever. Why can't we go then? Even if, like you said, they shut it down for a month at a certain time. I don't know if it'll ever get there. I'd love to see it, because it'd sure open up things for us. I know when I used to fish, it was April, 20 degrees out. I would just love to be out on the water, but you just not allowed.
And it's going to take a lot for, to get to that point. But, anybody who's watching the webcast at home, make sure you throw your comments in there about what you think about, it's really hard in Canada to cram everything into, 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a struggle, and that's why you see all of these other circuits. They're conflicting, and arguments start and all this stuff, because you have to pack in so many. How many tournaments are on a given weekend across Ontario?
Oh, at least 4.
It's actually hurting. To me, it's actually hurting our fishery, because it's getting hammered so much.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, and it's that short window that for everybody to get their clubbies in all the series, mm-hmm. and it does. So, maybe 5 years down the road we can spread this out, and that, there is early season fishing in Ontario, and, you know, I don't know the biologist part of this or anything like that. I'm just throwing out how to extend our season. And
it works for buffalo. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
same
buffalo.
fish, right? There's
Yeah.
the same smallmouth coming across the lake.
But so guys can enter right now, Corey. They can get into the pre-sign up. Are guys interested? Are you getting guys signing up? And I'll have my money in tomorrow.
I'm getting, yeah, that's a good thing, buddy. Yeah, they're actually coming in pretty quick. I've also done it so that guys don't have to rush. You know, Christmas is coming up, and
Yep.
you know, people don't have that kind of money. So there's no big pressure. The fields are set for 125, so you don't have to. It's not going to sell out in a month.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it will sell out before, you know, the April 21st or April 1st deadline I have for the draw to get voting spots. So, you know, like I said, it's not a rush, but emails are nonstop, phone calls are nonstop. Everybody's constantly asking, okay, how do I do this? I want to get in. I had one guy that waited up all night to get his till midnight when I opened it up. He worked all day, and he's like, oh, I got to try to sleep, but I don't want to miss. He goes, what if this sells out and I don't get in? I'm like, buddy, go to bed, relax. It's
Yeah.
125 spots. But he was that excited that even though he had been up since 4 in the morning, he's like, no, I'm waiting till midnight. I'm getting it in. And sure enough, he got it in.
I was one of those guys. I waited up until like 12:05, and I went, oh, there's no early registration.
What did you want? Like a
No,
pat
I was
on the
looking at
back?
that, you know, that $250 thing, and if you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah.
More,
So
right?
the guys can basically, if they send you a money order for $250 per event, I think, and that'll seal up their spot to finish paying at the end of the before April 1st.
So I think
right?
a lot of guys, like a lot of questions we're getting is, how do you do that? Because it's not on the website.
Right. Well, like when you go on, you just got to put your order in there. It sets it up that you just got to print off your registration
Right.
Yep.
forms, waivers, and email them in to me or mail them to me with your either check or e-transfer. You can do either or.
Perfect.
The credit card is only for guys that want to pay in full now, because everybody knows credit cards cost extra money. So if I started taking, you know, a deposit and then another deposit,
Yep.
the next thing I know, I'm losing money. So if guys want to, you know, pay in full right now and just get it over with on a credit card, you can. But if you want to do the deposit, all you gotta do is go online, fill out the forms, and do an e-transfer or mail me a check, one or like I said, one or the other.
Perfect.
It's that easy.
Beautiful, and that clarifies everybody
Yeah,
and
for
everybody at
sure.
home.
We get a lot of questions.
We do get a lot of emails about FLW, and because we were huge supporters here, and we are our field staff and pro staff. There's a lot of guys who, you know, signed up already for events.
We
Yeah,
did
that's
have
what-
we did have a field staffer sign up for I think it was
Tri Lakes.
Was it Tri Lakes?
Tri-Lakes.
Yeah.
Last night, that's what reminded me. I was ready to go to bed, and I think it was 11 o'clock, and oh my God, I checked Facebook before I went to bed, and I saw all these people signing up for FLW, and I thought, oh my God, we forgot.
And then
It's sold out.
and then we had a domestic, as I tried to explain to her that I was the star, and I don't do entry fees. And I actually looked at her, and I'm like, honey, I've never filled out an entry fee for myself in my life. If you don't do it, Marley does. So I don't even know how to do this.
This is true.
It is.
We know who wears the pants in this
you,
relationship.
you can ask Marley. I've
That's
never
not
entered
me.
anything.
No, I was talking to Marley.
You got it going on like a star now with that big microphone.
Yeah, looks good, eh? And
That's pretty cool.
and if I didn't have Marley and Amber, I would never make it to a tournament. I would show up and be like, "What do you mean I had to sign up?" So Corey,
Yeah. It's no
we
different. It's no different running it. If it wasn't for the support, like my wife does so much with this series, it's insane.
and
you know,
we
for
want to
us-
give a big shout out to Erin. I've met Erin, and she really is the one who's doing the things behind the scenes to make this happen for us. So everybody should give Erin, you know, on whenever you can, and if you ever run across Erin at one of these events, everybody out there should stop and thank, because Erin does do a tremendous amount of work, and she doesn't get the spotlight that Corey does.
No, and I'm sure it's no different than Amber.
No. Well, Amber tries to, she's a glory hog. She tries to steal it from me.
Yeah,
Yeah. When I try to do a selfie and she just shoves her head in there.
I hate pictures. Nice try.
So, Corey, the big thing about the FearFishing webcast is we're just about to let you go, but before we let you go, you got to tell us your best fishing story.
Okay, and I know you do this on your show, so I thought I have two good stories, and I decided that I guess I should do more of a quick comical one. I had a good tournament one. I had a day of best day dreams ever happen one, but I used to work on a deep sea fishing boat in Florida, and we used to get all kinds of charters for this thing. And this is one of those big party boats. There's 70 people on the boat.
Okay.
There's only when it's a full boat, there's 4 crewmates. When you only get 30, there's only 2 crewmates. So anyway, we had this charter, and it was like a Mormon school or something like that.
Okay.
They were 10 to 15-year-old kids. And I don't think anybody warned them that this is a deep sea fishing boat, and things get dirty, whatever. So they're all in their school outfits. So you got the guys with the little suits on and the nice little hats, and then the girls are in the dresses with the white down and all this stuff. So normally things are pretty good, but all of a sudden, for about two to 3 weeks during the season, these cobia come in, and all of a sudden, for some reason that day, these cobia come in, and these are 40 to 80 pound fish, and they kind of look like a shark. They don't have big teeth, but they have these huge spikes on their back tail. If you don't know what a cobia is, this is like I said, they're a cross between a catfish and a shark. But they're very, very dangerous when you get them in the boat because they've got these massive spikes. They're like metal spikes on their tails. So what I was first trained when I go on the boat is if somebody ever gets a cobia and you gaff it, you bring it in the boat, the first thing you got to do is smash the hell out of it with a billy club. So of course, the cobia run started that day. A 12-year-old boy catches this cobia. We gaff it, get in the boat. All the kids run around screaming, loving, oh, look at this. And I pull out the billy club, and I'm thinking, I got to do it. Over the head. The kids were covered.
Oh, no.
It was bad. Like I said, it's not a very nice story, but to me it was pretty funny.
Oh,
because
that's
I don't
awesome.
know, if you're going on a deep sea fishing boat, you should kind of, be a little prepared for whatever could.
That's awesome. I wish I was there to see the look on those kids' faces when the billy club come. What are you going to do with that?
Blood spatter all over them.
They were so upset. Like I said, this was like a church school type
Oh, that's
thing.
awesome.
I started backing this thing, they're crying and getting upset.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Cory, for joining us tonight. That was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
And I'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you next summer on the FLW tour.
Everybody there, take care. Have a good night, and have a good interview with Brandon.
Yes, thank you very much, my man. Talk to you soon.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye now.
Bye.
That is crazy. There's nothing like a good beaten club story.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
the Toronto Sportsman Show. I got a story.
Here we go. Here we
You know how
go.
they have the trout pond?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Where
God.
The kids, so my little brother, he's like 7 and 8 years old, right? He catches a trout. This kid's gifted. He hates fishing, but man, can that kid fish.
And I remember that from when we were kids.
Right?
Yeah.
So he catches a rainbow trout, right? He gets the picture, right? They take it behind the curtain. All you hear is thump, thump. They bring the dead fish out, and he's like, just starts bawling.
Oh, there's nothing better. And I can remember lots of childhood memories down the river with the salmon, and somebody would land a Chinook, and then out would come this like baseball bat.
They used to have the glow-in-the-dark ones.
You
Do you
remember that?
that?
Yeah, with the hard plastic. And it's kind
I
of
think
like
everyone's seen them or used one.
and maybe it was from
No,
the
Rich, I don't
80s.
think so.
You know, we've all seen it.
I have.
Yeah. And that's talking about fishing evolving. I haven't seen anybody beat a fish in a long time.
No, that's it. And I think it's due to the old timer fishing shows.
Yeah.
Catch and release.
Catch and release. Let the fish go. But
Let 'em grow.
that was really cool to get to talk to Cory, and everybody got some clarification.
Yeah,
and,
for
and
sure.
Feel free that if you have any questions, you can contact any of us here at the FearFishing Show and or comment on the post you see about this, and I'm sure Cory or somebody will see it and get it all settled up and the questions answered.
Yep.
So,
for sure.
do we want to do a question before we take a break here?
Yeah, let's do a question.
We got a couple minutes. We can
Yeah,
do a
yeah,
question
for sure.
before we have BP on. Oh, Amber is she's
behind.
slacking. She's not doing her job.
Well, Keith Duster wanted to know when our big day was.
Our marriage day
I guess that's what he's talking about.
What was that? The 22nd?
of August 2015.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The day passed. I We were supposed to get married. Okay, she's pointing me out here because we're not technically married. We blew up a boat engine, and we were supposed to get married on August 22nd, 2015.
Okay.
So I came home and I was like, honey, I blew up my boat engine. And she was like, oh no, that really sucks. And I was like, but the good news is that a new boat engine cost roughly the same amount
as what you have
as a wedding. So, to be honest, it didn't take her much. I didn't have to convince her. She was all on board that we at FearFishing needed a 225 horsepower Mercury direct injector engine.
Yes.
And so that's why we haven't planned the big day. Maybe we could get a sponsor for our wedding.
Hey, maybe we
Yes.
can do
Let's do
a
it all
double
in
wedding.
Kardashian style.
We could do a double wedding,
Triple
a
wedding?
webcast,
Triple wedding?
triple wedding?
wedding.
Oh,
Quadruple wedding?
Adam?
No.
No, Adam's shaking his head no.
No.
And we could do a webcast wedding, like a webcast bachelor party.
I'm down.
I don't think we should have any of that on camera.
Well, we could do it at like 1 o'clock in
It'd
the
be like-
afternoon.
Going Ike to the next level.
We might be able to get Ike to come to our FearFishing bachelor party.
I wonder if he's got like one of those internet licenses to marry people.
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, that would be sweet.
Oh my God.
We'll have to
Jesus.
throw that out to Ike.
Yes.
If
What
there's
did
any-
you say? That'd be what?
Sweet baby Jesus.
Oh, wow. Okay, do you got a question for us, Amber?
I just have a video that I just want to show. Can you see that?
Oh God.
It's Drake.
That's not cool.
It's awesome because he's fishing.
That's Amber.
He's fishing.
Way to take
He's
the
using a
web show to a
jerkbait.
new level.
A new low.
Do you have a question?
Um,
That was did somebody post that or did you just find it online?
I think Rich actually posted it, and then
Wow.
I was
now-
told
and
to,
now-
or
yeah,
else
sure you
I
were.
would get beaten.
Okay, you have so many things going on.
Is there a
here.
FearFishing webcast group?
Yep, I'm in there.
Okay, sweetie.
I'm working on it.
And so, what are you up to, Rich?
I don't know. I'm kind of reading. Why don't we get Shane?
What? Shane's question?
Shane's question. Why
Let's
don't
do
we get to
Shane's
Shane?
question, and then Amber can be ready for the second half
Why
of
don't
the
we-
show.
Can you call him?
Well, I don't know if we have the equipment to
No?
hook that
All
up
right.
right now.
Well, Shane wants to know, so I'm gonna
Read the
direct
question
this to you.
to me.
Shane wants to know about managing fish when you're pre-fishing. Do you really like to work the area, or do you like to catch a couple of fish and move on to try and find new water?
In a pre-fish, and this is a good question because now with the FLW coming in 2-day events, you kind of need to manage your fish.
Yeah, for sure.
Because 1-day tournament is like a lottery. A 2-day tournament, you need to save some fish, especially if you don't have a lot of spots.
Like us, Shane.
Pre-fishing, I like to fish so fast, and even during tournaments. But pre-fishing, I really like to I really KVD the hell out of that.
His trolling motor sets to 110.
And my trolling
Yes.
motor doesn't even work under 100. I don't know what the rest of you are complaining about, but on pre-fish day, I will pretty much, I will spend more time, let's be honest, marking spots, logs, trees,
Yeah, for
docks,
sure. All structure.
weed lines, more than I would actually mark where I caught fish.
Right.
If I caught one, it's kind of like a bonus and I'll hit mark. But that's not my focus. It's basically for me, it's finding the best water to fish in that 8 hours. Especially if I'm in like limited time.
Mm-hmm.
I just came to a lake, and, a rice lake when I'm pre-fishing, because I go there so much and I have 8 million waypoints, if I catch one good fish on a spot, I kind of put that on the milk run, the head of the milk
Yeah,
run.
for sure.
If it's a lake that I haven't been to, I might fish it. I might catch
So-
3 fish on a weed bed instead of 1.
So would you say if you catch a fish on, say, point 67 out of 400, do you kind of start that as like a starting point and work one way or the other? Or do you just kind of...
It's not so much. It's kind of like we get to the spot. And Marley, you jump in with, because we fish tournaments together, and it's kind of like a mess.
It's a big mess.
We never fish what we plan to fish.
No.
And it never goes the way we think it. I can think of like I can think of 2 tournaments where we came in and we were like, wow, that really went to plan. Because we are the greatest of garbage fishermen. And we really move on. There's been lots of tournaments where we start the boat out with a jerkbait rod, a tube, a drop shot rod, and we're going smallmouth fishing. And by the end of the day, there's a big pile of smallmouth rods, and all we've caught fish on all day is flipping jigs.
Nice.
But there's lots of days that we were going to kill them on the flipping jig, and the next thing you know, we caught them all in drop shot. So it's kind of like adaptability.
Mhm.
You got to be able to adapt to your situation, and pre-fishing to me is about finding spots. If I find a really good spot and I just know the fish are there, I'll really fish that area during a tournament.
And that's another question too: is how long do you spend on that? How long in a tournament? If you know there's fish there and they're just not biting, it's just one of those days.
It all depends on what I have in the boat.
Yeah.
If I think there's big fish there and I have 18 pounds in my boat and I think there's a 6-pounder here, I'll spend the rest of the day there.
Right on.
If I have...
This is the difference between recently and, say, 5-6 years ago.
5-6 years ago, I'd move. 5 casts and I didn't get a bite, I'd go.
Yeah.
You still do that.
No, maybe sometimes. If I get like that...
Now we know where the fish are.
Yeah.
We know where the fish that
If I
gonna
get the
bite are
feeling
gonna
like
bite,
they're
we-
not going to bite, I'm leaving. Even if I made 3 casts and I just feel like this is not going to happen, I think the best thing you can do in fishing is your gut feeling. And if for sure, if Marley and I are fishing together a tournament and I'm like, I don't think they're here, and he's like, I don't think they're here either, we're moving. If we fish a tournament and I'm like, I don't think they're here, and he's like, no, I think we should give it some time, we'll give it some time.
We always do that. We know where we need to be.
Yeah, for sure. We kind of it's all gut feeling, and you should trust your gut. And there's lots of times that we've run 30 miles to get to a spot, to get there and make 5 casts and turn around and go, we got to go back. And that's what it takes.
Who did that in a tournament? He went back with his...
Chris Lane.
Yeah.
Chris Lane did it in a tournament. He turned
Yeah.
around and went back all the way
Oh,
back because he
God, that
wanted to get to
hurts.
that clear water.
Yeah. Well.
And that's the thing. When you put a ton of time into fishing, you'll get these feeling like if you pull up to a point and you've made these casts and you didn't get anything, you'll kind of get the sense that it's just not going to happen here. Or maybe it's not going to happen at this point of the day. And that's where experience and time on the water and years of practicing really come into play.
All right, right on. Well, let's
take a break.
thank Adam here one last time.
Thanks, Adam. That you did a great great job in the first part of the show. So let's just take a break, and we'll be back with more fear fishing and more
Brett and Paulanek.